Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be looking at Galaxy Summit and talking a bit about where that is at now that it's been, I think it's over a month now since it's released. So we've had quite a lot of battles. Well, it's definitely over a month since its release, and we've had quite a lot of battles now. We've had defenses, attacks. We've faced the big alliances, the small alliances. Now I wanted to show off this game versus the Amazon Army, who are from server 56 and we're from server 54. And at a glance, our battle power is quite higher than the Amazon army, but those guys put up a really good fight. They had more numbers than us, um, and probably similar ships since the server will only be about a week older than us. So we're kind of matched based on timeline. But yeah, our alliance was bigger. We didn't have as many people in this particular battle, and yeah, we faced off against him, and it was a really fun start of the battle, but then it turned into a bit what I don't like about Galaxy Summit, and that's when the game stagnates. So I just want to talk about that for a little bit here in this video, and just how to get by it, and what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing when a game gets like this. So just for some context, as it's playing off in the background, we have some awesome battles. We're pushing back and forth at the start of this game, and then eventually we push them back into their HQ. And because they're more players than us, they have more ships, and we're fairly equal in terms of timeline and how long the server's been alive. So we're going to have around the same number of ships. So because of that, their HQ, because they're all concentrated in there, is going to be very, very strong, and we're not able to break through that HQ defense. And yeah, that's kind of where it was when we were sitting at this HQ. And we've been in this situation before with other alliances where they don't, to be fair, Amazon Army did not do this, but in past battles we've had, they don't even come out of the HQ. They just set everyone in, pretend that they're AFK. Although you can see it if you look in the rankings, you can see people are actually connected, so it doesn't really work if at least one person knows to do that. But yeah, you can just sit in the HQ and wait for your enemy to attack, and as long as you're confident that your initial battle power is going to beat them, or you want to rely on their timings being bad, because that timings in PvP is so important. Like 1 second is the difference between being absolutely annihilated and having a victory. You need to have everyone attacking at the exact same time if you want to be really efficient. If you're having your attacks one after the other and you're going in like 1 second after another, you're going to be losing a lot of ships each time before everyone actually gets connected into the fight. So yeah, we got into their HQ and we kind of cornered them in the HQ. They couldn't get out because they couldn't beat our fleets in space. I was very surprised by this. Normally what happens in these situations is, I'll go back to what I was talking about before, where we had an experience like this before. We would sit outside our HQ, we can't beat the HQ, and we just have to sit there for 50 minutes while they sit in there, and they can just be like, alright everyone, close your game for 20 minutes, come back. At this time, we're going to send everyone out and we're going to attack these guys at this exact same time, and they should have the upper hand if they do that. Of course, if we're like very alert, if that happens, if they attack one person, instead of joining that battle, what you should actually do is quickly attack the HQ, and then you can just end the game, because all you need to do is capture the HQ and the game just instantly ends. There's no like layover time. But yeah, it's hard to be around for 50 minutes just waiting for this timer to go down so that you win, because of course if you can't beat the enemy HQ, you win by owning the most amount of systems. So we tried a few things with these guys sitting in their HQ. We tried pretending that we were going to attack. We tried to see if we could get them out. We tried moving back a couple systems, letting them come out, and that I think was a decent strategy, and I'd quite recommend doing that if you can be coordinated about it. Go back a couple systems. I recommend the middle system, the first middle system back from their HQ, and just sit there, let them come out, and they will probably split up and go north and south and just wipe out one of the sides. And at this point, it's battle of endurance, like how long can these people last, and how many ships do they have. So if you wipe out one half of them now have one fleet less of ships. And as our servers get older and older, that's not going to be a viable strategy. Just killing ships, because in this game, people should always be making ships constantly. So that's not going to really be a viable strategy in the future. But for right now, it is, as you don't have infinite ships, at least at our age of server. If you're in server 2, you probably have infinite ships, right? But yeah, it's what we ended up doing is just sitting in their HQ, and then like 30 seconds before the match ends, a bit of a spoiler here, you're going to be able to see it. We thought they would come out. We thought they would come out at like the 10-minute mark, absolutely decimate us, and then roll down the lanes, because they technically had stronger fleets than us, because they had more people, and we don't really have whales in our alliance. Everyone is strong. We're all like on equal footing almost. And yeah, we thought that was going to happen, but it didn't. They just let the time run down. So I guess people got bored and they decided not to even bother, which I feel like was a waste. But it was a good fight at the start, at least. These guys had a really good showing, and they should be really proud of how many they got into the fight, because I've noticed, despite how generous the rewards are for Galaxy Summit, not a lot of people actually join them, and I really hope more alliances can promote people to join these cross-server events, because server versus server, Nebula versus Nebula, these events are the future of this game, and we need to all be making efforts to just make these server events, server versus server, Galaxy Summits, great things. And if we've got feedback, if we don't like it, we need to make our voices heard. We need to tell the developers, hey, this is really bad. You know how one thing I complain about is the zoom level. You start zoomed in just one level too much. If you zoom out one level further back, you get so much more functionality. You get little circles to join the battles. You can click on things easier. You can see the entire system. You can see people coming in, going out. So that's just one bit of feedback. But definitely, if you don't enjoy the event, you should definitely keep taking part, because you need to get these medals for server versus server when that happens, and you need to provide the feedback. And yeah, that's just what I kind of wanted to touch on there. Another thing I wanted to touch on in this video is the strongest commander and strongest alliance has emerged for the Galaxy Summit Conquest event. Now this is an event that developers were running. They were trying to promote getting people to be more into summits and just kind of prove their strength. So we've got a list here of the top 10 commanders. I'm not really going to go through them all, but Shashka from servers 31 and Modaloid from server 33. That's rank 1 and 2, and Warpa from server 31 as well. So server 31 looking like a powerhouse, having two of the strongest. I'm not exactly sure how these are calculated, but it should still be very proud of it, regardless. And then the strongest alliances, group 1 is Rise of Phoenix from server 10, Rebels Federation from server 30, Unite Conquest Pole from server 29, and that's all part of group 1, so that's the top 3 in group 1. Group 2, we've got server 17 with Debenby. Sorry, don't know how to pronounce it. And we've got another Polish alliance, I assume, Pole Wings from server 5, and then Space Rabbits from server 15 there, the top 3 in group 2. And group 3, we've got the Legion of Death, Asuka is from server 19, second place, and League of Space from server 26. So that's great. It's mostly the lower end servers that are getting here. I assume just because they're stronger. And one thing I'm really surprised about is I go into my, like, you can declare war in other alliances for Galaxy Summit as R5 and R4. I go in there and I can challenge people from server 2, even though they are way, way, way stronger than us, and we do not stand a chance. So I hope that gets addressed, because it's not very good. I don't think it's very the battle power varies quite largely, and the older the server is, the more troops they've been able to build, the more ships they've been able to build, and the higher tier ships they have. So like server 2, I'd expect everyone to be on tier 10 ships, right? And we're only just reaching it on our server, and even those people that have reached it, they don't have many of them. So I'd like to see that reined in a little bit. But yeah, this is all leading up to Nebula versus Nebula, which is coming in less than a month now, so I'm so excited for that. And another great thing in Infinite Galaxy news is it is 1 year ago, 1 year 2 days from this video being posted, that Nebula 2 was born, and that's the first English Western accepting Nebula there is. I think that server 1 is, I know it's a beta server, but I think it might be Chinese only. I'm not entirely sure on that, but 1 year since server 2. I've got friends in server 2, and they should be really proud that they've made the server last that long, and it's a very strong server as well. Very strong server. Anyway, that's all for this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please give it a like. Tell me what more you want me to talk about, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much.